Following up a Game of the Year title is no easy feat. Do you take a bold new direction, abandoning what made the first title special, or do you stick to the formula and risk it feeling too familiar? Hazelight and Joseph Fares, true to form, do neither. Instead, Split Fiction takes everything that made It Takes Two great and dials it up to 11, refining the formula while forging its own unique identity. In a year packed with standout titles, Hazelight has done the impossible. They've outdone themselves and delivered another Game of the Year contender. That's a lot of praise up front, but you might still be wondering, is Split Fiction really for you and your best friends? And that's where we come in. A huge thank you to EA for providing us with a code. Now let's dive into our review of Split Fiction.
Wallow, we got a wallow. Wallow.
You got a wallow?
Oh, yeah. I've been waiting for this all day. Oh, how'd you go so fast?
I don't know.
Oh, this is so cool.
Wow, it's insane how detailed it is. It's just crazy.
Oh my god, what?
You're joking.
This is crazy. Whoa.
Oh my god.
Jeez, dude, I'm barely
Holy
pulling this off.
crap, dude. This is insane. Oh my god, I cannot believe you're pulling this off. This is wild.
Oh gosh.
Hazelight has truly mastered the art of accessible co-op. They don't just create incredible co-op games, they ensure everyone can enjoy them. Everything is here that you'd want: local and online co-op, full crossplay across PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam, and seamless progression carryover for non-host players. If you both own a copy, the host and the non-host player will retain their progression online, so both players can replay chapters either locally or with someone else online. But the real game changer is of course the return of the Friend Pass. This allows a friend to join your entire adventure even if they don't own the game, simply by downloading the free Friend Pass version. And yes, it works across all platforms via crossplay. They've even turned it into a demo system. Both players can explore the initial areas with the Friend Pass, and if one decides to purchase the game, their progress transfers over. It's an incredible player-first feature. But Hazelight doesn't stop there. They've also implemented robust accessibility options, including camera rotation assistance, reduced enemy damage, and checkpoint skipping. Several of these adjustments can even be tailored to individual players. This level of customization is truly remarkable, and it's clear the team has poured their heart into making the game enjoyable for everyone. Now with all that said, let's dive into what you'll actually experience in Split Fiction.
Oh, and then you're gonna have to go here real quick. Okay, let's do it.
And go.
Full throttle. Can I sprint? No. Let's just go.
Keep going, bro. Oh, it's so close. It's so close. Okay, we're good.
Oh my god.
That was so tight.
Before we dive into the gameplay loop, a quick note on spoilers and how much we'll be showing in this review. Similar to our hands-on preview, most of the footage here comes from the first 3 levels of the game. We'll keep story details to a minimum, only providing necessary context, and we'll avoid spoiling the best moments, including most of the side stories. Split Fiction is another thrilling co-op-only adventure from Hazelight. If It Takes Two was a fun-for-all-ages Pixar movie, this is the action-packed summer blockbuster that never lets up. The game features 8 levels, including the intro, with a playtime of around 12 to 14 hours. This time, you step into the roles of Mio and Zoe, 2 young writers who think they've just landed a dream publishing deal with a major tech company. Unlike the married protagonist of It Takes Two, Mio and Zoe are total strangers. Zoe is an outgoing fantasy writer, while Mio is a guarded sci-fi author, so naturally they clash from the start. But things take a turn when the company reveals its true plan, using experimental technology to bring their stories to life. Sensing something is off, Mio tries to back out, only to get pulled into Zoe's world, trapping them both inside a malfunctioning virtual reality. Their only hope of escaping is jumping between their stories, chasing a rogue glitch that moves into the next world, all while trying to destroy the machine before it's too late. As expected, Split Fiction sticks to the core formula of It Takes Two. Each level, whether sci-fi or fantasy themed, introduces a brand new mechanic. You'll gradually master it through platforming, puzzles, and dynamic shifts in gameplay and even perspective. By the end of each level, the game puts your skills to the test in a high-stakes action sequence or a boss fight. Throughout the adventure, you'll also encounter side stories, 12 optional mini levels that shake up the experience in some truly ridiculous ways. They're easy enough to spot if you're paying attention, and trust us, you'll want to check them all out. That's a broad overview of Split Fiction. Now I'll pass the mic to Andrew to dive into more details.
Oh god, oh those are definitely civilians! Oh my god! Oh, I'm so... Oh my god! Oh, what is happening? Oh my gosh!
Wait, that was so funny.
Describing why Split Fiction excels at co-op is kind of a challenge, not for lack of material, but for its sheer abundance. As Gabe mentioned, each level unveils a unique mechanic, which makes it a little bit difficult for me to pinpoint a single defining feature to say, hey, this is why this is so freaking good. Instead, the game's brilliance lies in the consistent, gradual introduction of these mechanics across its diverse levels. Now, we're going to take the Cyber Ninja level because we have a lot of footage in it, because we really like it, and because it's early on in the experience so we don't spoil anything else. This is where Mio is wielding a sword for perspective shifting teleports, while Zoe uses a whip to manipulate objects. Both are essentially messing with gravity. Initially, you practice these abilities in a simple factory setting, alternating who is removing the obstacle for the other player. You're soon solving the same puzzles but also platforming at the same time on a high-speed highway, and then you're using those abilities to take on small enemies, but then you're using those abilities to take on big enemies like bosses that demand even more mastery. But this boss that we're showing isn't even the final boss. You're only halfway through the level. Of course, Hazelight never lets it feel monotonous. The developers cleverly intersperse one of the excellent side stories, or a brief reprieve like a rooftop pool session, or even a high-speed car chase. These experiences momentarily set aside the gravity whip and sword, and they offer like refreshing diversions to keep you going. But of course, then playtime's gonna be over, and the level culminates in an epic final showdown, testing everything you've learned. But actually, that wasn't the end of the level. Now we're going to introduce motorcycle combat, and you're first going to be doing it together with one person shooting and one person driving. Then you're both going to be driving your own bike and shooting on your own, and then again it's going to culminate in another completely unique boss fight.
Let's go!
Oh my
Let's
god.
go! Oh my gosh, it's the coolest moment in channel history.
That was so sick, bro.
This pattern of gradual action-packed progression, interspersed with moments of levity or different gameplay, is repeated throughout the game, consistently pushing players to their limits, making them rework together new mechanics, relearn how to communicate, all while maintaining a sense of excitement. And my gosh, is it exhilarating. Hazelight stands among the masters of crafting breathtaking set pieces. These action sequences consistently made Gabe and I feel like action heroes, and while the game offers a degree of leniency, as Gabe is going to elaborate on, and I will too, we genuinely felt like we were pulling off the impossible sometimes. My highlight reel is overflowing with moments that had us cheering in disbelief. Now let me clarify, not because the game was too difficult and we were overcoming like a Souls-like level challenge, but because we couldn't believe what was happening. As two guys who have now played literally hundreds of games together, we did see some challenge towards the end, but never felt like it was insurmountable. Obviously, as a game that's going to require co-op, there's going to be people who play this with the quote-unquote non-gamer, and I still think you should try it out even with that level of gamer. The game again is very gradual in its difficulty, and we didn't have our first true respawn until the last few chapters. Plus, it's got generous checkpoints, and like I mentioned before, the ability to skip to the next checkpoint if something feels too hard. So don't worry, the game doesn't perpetually operate at a fever pitch, but when it does, Hazelight executes with flawless precision. In fact, we've decided to forgo a co-op wrong section entirely, as we found no significant flaws in the game's co-op design. Occasionally, the respawn system might place you in an awkward position, but it's a remarkably dynamic system that strives to maintain the flow of action when one person falls and the other one is still going. I think it's actually a testament that with this level of action sometimes, the awkward placement happens pretty infrequently. It feels like a system that's working pretty well to maintain a seamless experience. So let's hand it back to Gabe to discuss non-co-op aspects like art direction, story, a little bit more on difficulty, and it'll allow us to finally determine if Split Fiction is the perfect co-op adventure for you and your best friend.
Don't mess with Zoe, bro. Hurry.
Oh, no way. Dude.
Oh,
Okay, we're really going for it, damn.
What? Oh,
shoot, dude.
shoot. Oh.
Oh,
No
pop
way.
off, bro. Pop off, bro.
Oh
Pop
my
off.
gosh.
Pop out, Zoe.
Oh my gosh.
When Split Fiction was revealed at the Game Awards last year, Andrew and I were absolutely stoked, but we couldn't help but wonder if it could truly live up to the heights of It Takes Two. Now, having rolled credits, we can confidently say Split Fiction doesn't just reach those heights, it surpasses them. One way it achieves this is through its jaw-dropping visuals. Gaming is a complex art form where great graphics alone aren't enough to create a striking vision. You also need exceptional art direction, and Split Fiction skillfully blends both. From the textures and dynamic camera angles to the breathtaking skyboxes, the game constantly made us stop just to take it all in, sometimes by choice, sometimes at the conveniently placed benches meant for reflection. Despite the countless sci-fi and fantasy settings in gaming, Hazelight has crafted distinct mini-universes that feel fresh and immersive. Whether it's the mystical Underlands or a neon-drenched cyberpunk city ruled by a parking authority, I was always eager to learn more about each location. When it comes to the story, Mio and Zoe's journey is a bit of a slow burn, and at times I wasn't sure if it would fully come together. But without spoiling anything, I'll just say it absolutely does. Their emotional journey pays off, and while your mileage may vary, we found both characters relatable, brought to life by strong writing and performances. To be honest, I wanted a bit more out of the villain, but honestly, I was too busy having way too much fun to really care. As Andrew mentioned, the action here is on another level. Every time we saw the chapter was over, the game always had one more challenge for us to face. The difficulty is a step up from It Takes Two, but generous checkpoints, near instant respawns, and great accessibility options ensure anyone can enjoy it. Simply put, don't let difficulty be the reason you miss out on this special game. And it truly is something special. The sheer creativity on display is unmatched, from hopping on giants' fingertips to competing in a game show run by a maniacal AI and everything in between. Hazelight has made unpredictability their signature, and yet Split Fiction still manages to surprise. It does things we've never seen a game attempt, let alone totally pull off. I recently learned that Hazelight chooses a keyword for each of their titles, a cornerstone so to speak. For Split Fiction, that word was friendship. And yeah, maybe that sounds a little cheesy, but even after playing this with my best friend of over a decade, I still walked away feeling like we'd grown a little closer, maybe even learned something new about each other. Not every game leaves that kind of impact, and that's okay, but the ones that do aren't easily forgotten. We hope you have a similar experience with Split Fiction. If it isn't obvious, we highly recommend it.
Alright guys, that is our review of Split Fiction. Man, what a ride it was. If we helped you figure out if the game is for you and your best friend, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can continue to find awesome co-op games to play. Gabe and I have been putting in massive work to get this review and other content done for y'all. So if you appreciate all the content, consider joining our Patreon for tons of benefits. Shout out to our patrons because they help support our two-man operation. Either way, we appreciate you watching and we'll catch you on the next episode of the Co-op Bros.